Welcome back. You're watching us here on Halftime Report. Yesterday, even as the markets were going higher, we were pointing out that the India VIX is rising, which told you that there is volatility which is on the cards. And today as well, as we recovered from the lows, what moved higher was the India VIX. As we speak, closer to 19, telling you that, rallies are not sustainable, but at the, same time, low level, we are seeing some purchase. So between this range, we will see the market move on and off. A couple of mid-caps doing a lot better. We have CCL Products, which has spiked up once again, taking this month's gain on the stock to about 46%. So an 8% up move is what we've seen on CCL Products. Good numbers coming in, but higher coffee prices means better revenues. But they, again, have a fixed EBITDA that they get per unit of coffee that they make and supply to all the global brands. But speaking about coffee, speaking about commodities, we have Manisha with us. Manisha, coffee.
Oh, well, yes, after this show, Mangalam, for sure. But right now, we are also joined by Peter McGuire. He's CEO at trading.com. Peter, hi. We're talking about coffee, which the prices have been surging, and so have been the coffee shares I've been looking at. But what has also seen some better moves clearly has been platinum within the overall precious metals. So gold, after that all-time high, seems to be trading in a range. Silver prices, do try to break from that recent range that we've created, but haven't been able to do that. Platinum, in the meanwhile, has done quite well. How are you looking at overall precious metals right now? Would you say that now we're getting stuck in a range? A major trigger is perhaps what the market is waiting for.
Well, good afternoon, Manisha. I mean, there's so many components that make up the storyline as far as gold and precious over this year. We're nearly at the end of 5 months in. We've seen a dramatic move to the upside, and now it's taking a little bit of that heat has come out. There's no doubt. I mean, when you're seeing platinum's been nearly to the point of parabolic over the last probably the last, say, 4 to 5 weeks, really strong growth. And that, I think, has hit everyone by a little bit of a surprise. That's where a lot of smart money has really traded, certainly on the futures of platinum. So at the moment, I think that it will continue to have that nice uplift, but one's got to be very mindful. What's happening as far as bond rates, what's happening as far as US dollar, and the talk of tariff, which certainly hasn't been put to bed at all.
Most people, including Trump, seem to be believing that weaker dollar perhaps is better for an economy there. We're trading below 99 at this point in time. What's your sense on the dollar index, and how are you looking at the other crosses?
Well, it's 99, Manisha. I think, do we see a rate cut in this quarter? And I don't know whether that will materialise, considering we've only a month to go until the end of June. So it's going to be a summer rate cut if that's where Fed Chair Powell decides that's what he wants to see. So you would think that there would be a fair bit of that softness as far as US dollar, one would think, would continue, maybe a 98.20 handle, and it seems to be in a downdraft at the moment. So that's where the focus is, what's happening as far as US dollar, and are we going to see some further sell-off, as far as bond rates rising and so on.
Peter, how have you also seen the euro? Because with this tariff on and tariff off and deferred tariff, the euro also has been quite volatile.
Absolutely. I mean, when you think about it, Manisha, we're nearly at 114. So there's every chance you could see a 115 handle, I think, by the end of the week. Maybe a little bit bullish, but I certainly think 114 is going to be taken out very quickly. So the overall momentum is going to be stronger euro. That's where all the focus is. We understand the storyline that Saturday our time was, we were going to see a 1st of June kickoff as far as tariffs of 50%. Now, that's been pushed back to the 9th of July, as we know. We understand Ursula von der Leyen, her thoughts and processes, and it's all about negotiation. So let's see if they can stack a deal together. And but I think there's going to be a lot of volatility between now and that point.
Peter, sell dollar is one trade that we understand. What do you see another pair trade with that? Is it going to be buy euro, Australian dollar? We've seen some moves come back in Japanese yen as well. So what are you looking at, the cross-currency trade there?
Well, yen's a nice one. I mean, you've got to be conscious, but I'm certainly concerned as far as what's happening there on the Japanese front as far as bond yields, Manisha. If you're looking at it as a currency trade, I think anything against the US dollar, keeping a close eye. Swiss franc's been a great trade. The Aussie's had a big run up already. It's up from 58 to 64.5, nearly, that 65 sort of, we're knocking on the door. So I'm more focused as far as euro. I want to see what happens, and I think that's where, and don't take your eyes off the pound as far as pound dollar. So, yeah, there's still plenty of enjoyment and plenty of dollars to be made out of currency trading at the moment.
Sure is. Peter, how are you also looking at the base metal prices right now? Because here, yet again, it is about geopolitical tensions. We've seen inventory rise. Electrification is a demand that we will continue to see demand coming in from. Within the metal space, are you picking up a strong trade right now?
Well, Manisha, when you're looking at copper, it's back at 9,600 on the LME, and that's been bid up strongly. So all of those industrial metals are nice. I got iron ore running at 100. So there's no spark there. If it was 130, 140, it'd be a different matter. But keep a close eye on some of those base metals, or the industrial metals, I should say. And there's probably every chance you could see 10,000 for copper over this summer period. So, yeah, I think that's where the general momentum is. More bullish than bearish.
All right. Peter, you've been a regular visitor for many years for many of these OPEC meetings. Now, there's yet another one coming in. And the dates tend to change very quickly, right? The 8 OPEC plus members are meeting on 31st, and the rest of the OPEC and allies are meeting on 1st of June. So there's just plenty of meetings there and statements that continue to come in. How are you looking at the production increase and your sense on July output?
Well, Manisha, I take on board, I want to put my mind back to 2 weeks ago when President Trump spent considerable time in Saudi and then with the UAE and just across the water from you guys and then into Doha. So the MBS situation is going to be, I think, more increased. They're really concerned as far as compliance from some of those smaller producers. And the overall theme is going to be get the production up. I feel as though you're going to see a continued softness as far as crude prices, if there's no geopolitical, outliers that come to play. But yeah, the overall momentum at the moment is going to be more bearish than bullish, I think, for the energy sector.
That goes for gas as well, where we're not looking at too much of demand right now. But going forward, it's going to be about the Atlantic hurricane season. And then, of course, inventory increase before winter sets in. So how soon do you see that happen? And where do you see natural gas prices, let's say, for the next couple of months and then for the second half?
Well, you know as well as I do. I mean, when you're thinking about the hurricane season, that's probably, we're still about a month and a half to 2 months from that really starting to kick off. And it doesn't get its full steam until really September. I think that's the middle of the season. So I'm conscious as far as nat gas. I feel as though, again, if you see something ratchet up as far as hurricanes and all of those Mother Nature impacts, you're going to see volatility. But at the present time, I wouldn't be surprised to see that nat gas price just take a little bit more softness to the downside, and that's the overall theme. I'm keeping an eye on what's happening at OPEC, Manisha. I mean, we're in a very different world now than what we were going back 3 weeks ago, considering the I think a unification between MBS and President Trump.
Take that point, the unification between MBS and Trump. Thank you, Peter, for joining in and always, giving us a great amount of insights. What we'll do is we'll wrap up on this edition of Halftime Report today. Come back on the other side, we have Business Lunch taking all the market action forward.